Hello and welcome to the VSDC channel. If you are new to VSDC and need to learn the basics, you're just in the right place. In this video, we will cover everything you need to step into video editing, the main tools, basic features, and practical tips. We've organized the video into sections, so feel free to jump to the parts you're interested in by checking the description below. Let's get started. Creating a new project. First, we need to launch VSDC Video Editor. Upon opening, you'll be greeted with a starting window presenting primary options. We're going to consider two of them. Option 1. Creating a blank project with custom settings. Click on the blank project icon to start. A window with project settings will immediately appear. Name your project and set its resolution. You have the option to use preset resolution from the drop-down menu or enter the desired values manually on the right. For this example, we select Full HD from the presets. Next, we'll choose the frame rate. It's best to match the frame rate to that of your video footage. We'll go with 30 FPS. If you happen to choose the wrong settings, don't worry. You can always modify them later in the project properties. Click Finish to open the main program window and your project is ready to go. Option 2. Creating a project based on the parameters of a source video. This method is particularly useful if you are unsure about which settings to use and prefer to base your project on the settings of a specific video. To do this, click the Import Content icon, select the video file in the File Explorer, and click Yes in the dialog box to create a new project with matching settings. Confirm, and the selected video will be automatically added to your project. VSDC Interface. Let's take a look at the program's interface. At the bottom, you'll find the timeline where you can add your files. In the center, there is a scene displaying the frame currently selected on the timeline. Over on the left side, we have 3 windows. You can switch between them using the tabs below. In the Projects Explorer, there are all the created projects and scenes. It is really handy because you can easily switch between them. And yes, the program allows you to have multiple projects open at the same time. The Object Explorer window shows all the objects added to the scene. And the last tab is the Templates window, which contains ready-made templates of objects and effects. Now, let's move to the right part of the program window. First panel displays the properties of the selected object. Next, in the tab below, the Resources panel shows all the files added to the program. Right next to this, you'll find the window for setting up transitions and doing basic color corrections. At the bottom is the Scopes window and the Key Editor tab for keyframe settings. Also below the timeline, there is a tab with Advanced Color Correction. This layout is the standard setup of the program, but you can easily choose or hide windows, customize their size, or move them around as you need. If you ever want to go back to this default layout, just click the Panes Manager button in the upper right corner and select Classic. All your panels will snap right back to the original setup. Importing files. When starting, take a moment to save your project. Click on the VSDC logo at the top left corner and choose Save Project As. Pick where you want to save it and name it. Now the project is saved. We also recommend turning on the Auto-Saved feature in the program settings just to be on the safe side. Just click the gear icon in the upper right corner, select Saving option, then decide how often you'd like your project to be saved automatically, and confirm your choice. In order to quickly add files to the program, you can simply drag and drop them directly from the Windows Explorer onto the timeline or scene, and they'll appear immediately. Alternatively, use the green buttons on the left of the scene to add videos, audio files, or pictures. Another method is through the Resources window, where you can also preview a file by double-clicking on it. To add a file from the Resources window to your timeline, simply drag and drop it onto the timeline and choose whether to add video or audio from the context menu. If you opt for a video, the associated audio track will be added too. Preview. To play the video, you can press the spacebar or click on the red triangle above the timeline. Pressing one of these buttons again will stop the playback. If you are experiencing freezing during playback, it might be that your PC doesn't have enough resources to handle the video smoothly. You can adjust the viewing quality of the scene to fix it by clicking on the triangle next to the 720 pixels button and, for instance, selecting 360 pixel for a lower resolution. Additionally, if you're using the Pro version of the editor, ensure that the hardware acceleration is enabled in the program settings for a smoother experience. If this method doesn't help, consider using proxy files. We have a detailed tutorial on working with proxy. A link will appear in the top right corner. With this method, files are converted to be easier to work with and then replaced back when exporting. Navigating the timeline can also be done using your keyboard's arrow keys for precise movement left or right. Alternatively, the bar at the top offers various options to move the cursor to the next frame, the next second, or directly to the file's end. You have the flexibility to move files around on the timeline, not just left to right, but also between layers. Green arrows above the scene facilitate moving files between layers. Files are layered in such a way that the top layer appears first, with subsequent layers below it. To make editing more manageable, you can increase the size of a layer on the timeline. This can be done using the slider and buttons on the left side of the screen, or by using the shortcut Ctrl, Shift, and mouse wheel scroll. When working with audio, your audio track can be visible. Click on the wave icon on the layer to the left. An audio track will automatically be displayed at the bottom of the file for each video on that layer. This feature is available in the free version of the editor, starting from 9.1. If you're using an earlier version, you can check for updates by finding and clicking the activation button at the top of the panel and selecting Check for Updates. Cutting and splitting. To remove unwanted sections from your video or audio, the Split into Parts tool is a great option. You'll find it in the panel above the timeline. Select a file, place the cursor at the point on the timeline where you want to split it, and click the razor icon. The file will be divided into two parts, so you can work with each one separately. For example, you can delete an unnecessary section. Select it and press the Delete key on your keyboard. If you have deleted a fragment by mistake, click the Undo button above the scene. Furthermore, you can adjust the trim boundary by dragging the edge of the video with the Shift key pressed. This tool is quite handy for basic splitting tasks, but the editor offers many more features. Discover how they work by checking out our tutorial by following the link above. Speed. You can set the playback speed for different sections of your video. Select a file and go to the Properties window. Look for the Speed property and input the desired value there. To double the speed, enter 200%. To slow it down by half, enter 50%. For a more comprehensive guide on managing playback speed, check out our video tutorial. Cropping. After splitting files, you may probably need to fine-tune your frame, removing unwanted edges. To do this, select your file and head over to the properties. There, look for the Cropped Borders feature and click on the icon next to it. This action opens a window where you can crop the video. By pulling the corner of the frame while holding down the Shift key, you can adjust the size, maintaining the original aspect ratio. Please note, if you resize without holding down the Shift key, the aspect ratio will change, possibly resulting in black bars on the sides. To revert any changes made, simply enter 0 in the Cropped Borders section. If you wish to apply the same cropping effect to another video, copy the contents from the Cropped Borders line and paste them into the same line for the other video. For a more in-depth look at this tool, check out our detailed video tutorial. Audio. To add audio to a project, simply drag and drop the audio file onto the timeline. It doesn't matter where you place the file, in the top or the bottom layer. Trim the audio file using cutting and splitting tools if needed. The video file we added earlier contains an audio track. If you wish to lower its volume or remove the sound entirely, select your file or files on the timeline and head over to the properties. Look for the audio volume section at the bottom and adjust the volume as needed. The property right below it allows you to disable the audio track completely. Now, let's select the audio track and set its volume to -10. You'll notice on the volume bar that the music is now 10 decibels quieter. If you don't see a volume bar, make sure to click on the check mark next to the timeline. When using music as background, consider setting the volume between -25 to -30. Next, let's add a voiceover track and remove unnecessary sections from it. You can adjust the volume level for each section or automatically equalize the sound across all your audio files. To do this, select all the audio files, then navigate to the editor, Audio Effects, Amplitude, Normalize Audio. And in the opened window, set the values from 80 to 90%. This will automatically equalize the volume of your voiceover. Audio Effects. If you need to smoothly increase or decrease the volume, adding an audio effect is what you need. All the effects within the program are integrated within objects. So start by double-clicking your audio file to go inside it. Here you will see a blue marker indicating the file's endpoint. Next, head over to Editor, Audio Effects, Amplitude, Fade In. Confirm by clicking OK in the dialog box, and the effect will automatically be applied to the beginning of the audio file, causing the volume to gradually increase from -100 to 0. To decrease the volume towards the end, apply a fade out effect in a similar manner. The effect is added to the end of the file. For those with the Pro version of the editor, there is an option to add keyframes to the volume, enabling a more precise control over volume transitions. To do this, select your audio file and proceed to add Audio Effects, Amplitude, Amplify. Then in the Properties, find Audio Volume and click on the three dots to the right to open the key editor. Here you can set keyframes for the volume, thus making the music louder at the beginning until the voice starts. Text. Next, we'll show you how to work with text. To add text to your project, click on the Text tool on the left vertical toolbar. A pop-up window appears asking you to set the duration and the position for the text layer. Draw a text box and type in your message. If the text doesn't fit in the frame, expand it by dragging the edges. Next, head over to the text settings in the panel above, where you can modify the brush and the contour color, as well as its thickness and other parameters. Now, position the text on the timeline and set its duration. You can align the text vertically and horizontally using the buttons above the scene. Now, let's add animation of text appearance. To do this, double-click on the text to go inside it, and then navigate to Editor, Text Effects, Recoloring. In the window that opens, choose from Start of the Scene to add animation to the beginning. Keep in mind that the speed of the animation is also affected by the duration of the effect. As you become more familiar with the program, you can explore the properties of this effect further to access additional settings. Templates. VSDC also has a wide collection of ready-made templates with text and other elements and effects. To access them, go to the Templates window. If it's not initially visible, find and open it in the View tab. To preview templates, click on the arrow on the right side of this window. Additionally, you can update the template sets by clicking on the arrow icon at the bottom of this window, which updates your set by downloading the latest templates from the server. Next, navigate to the Text Presets folder that contains templates related to text. To add them, simply drag and drop them onto the timeline. After that, a sprite will appear right there. A sprite is a kind of a container with files inside. You can find out how the sprite works by following the link at the top right corner. Adjust your text duration and position on the timeline. To edit the text, click several times on it until the text editor opens. Make your changes, and voila! Among the templates, you'll find different elements, backgrounds, counters, and postcards to use in your projects. Please note that there are templates for both free and pro versions of the editor. Transitions. In VSDC, there are two ways of adding transitions. The first method is similar to how we added audio effects earlier, and the second one involves overlapping videos on the timeline. Let's take a look at the first method. It is rather handy for creating fade-in and fade-out transitions. To begin, double-click on your video to go inside it. Then head over to Editor, Video Effects, Transparency, Fade Out. Confirm and the video will disappear smoothly. You can add any effect available on the list. For more details, watch our video tutorial on how to use this method of adding transitions. The second method of applying transitions is even more straightforward. Let's go back to Scene 0. This method creates transitions between elements on the timeline. Select your video, hold down the Alt key, and move the video so that it overlaps a little bit with another video to create a fade transition. If you want to replace the transition, go to the Templates window that contains a collection of transitions under Video Effects, Transitions. Here you can preview and choose from various options. Another resource is the Transition Collection folder, offering even more templates. So select any transition in one of these folders, drag it on the timeline in the highlighted area of the transition, and it will be replaced by the selected one. Our channel also features a video tutorial that covers this method of applying transitions. Effects. A few words about applying effects. As we've said, all the effects need to be added inside the files. Let's save and apply a shadow effect to the text. Double-click on it, then head over to Editor, Video Effects, Nature, Shadow. Then in the dialog box, select Whole Parent Duration and customize it in the properties. You can adjust the angle, distance, color, size, and many other parameters. All other effects can be added and customized in the same way. Color grading. For basic color grading, select your file or files and in the Basic Effects window, adjust the following parameters: brightness, contrast, and color temperature. To make a more advanced color grading, go to the Color Grading window, where you can find a large set of tools to adjust the desired color in the frame. You can use a set of ready-made LUTs to quickly transform the colors in your frame. For quick stylization effects, you can also explore options in the editor. We've got 2 detailed tutorials on how to master color grading and using LUTs effectively. The links are in the description. Animation. Linear animation tools are available in the free version of VSDC. Let's explore some examples. First, we add a video zoom animation. Select the video, go inside, then navigate to Editor, Video Effects, Transforms, Zoom. Select from Start of the scene and confirm in the dialog box. Shorten the effect's duration on the timeline and go to the Properties. Look for the Levels parameter, which is responsible for the intensity of the zoom effect. Expand the property by clicking on the triangle on the left and find 2 additional parameters: Initial Value and Final Value. Finally, we set the first one to 0 and the second one to 100. This way, the image will increase from 0 to 100% over the effect's duration. You can also adjust the zoom center's position by simply moving it on the scene. While the free version offers a good starting point, the Pro version unlocks more complex animations. For advanced animation settings, click the 3 dots to the right of the parameter to open the key editor, where you can create key points and change the speed of the animation. Let's explore another example: motion animation. First, we add an arrow template from the Templates window onto the scene, positioning it at the bottom, and then go inside of it. Apply a motion effect, which you can find to the left of the scene in the shape of the crosshair with arrows, and put a point on the scene near the upper right corner. And the motion vector is drawn. You can adjust the position of the vector and smooth it with the Ctrl key pressed. The duration of the effect is controlled by the brown and yellow markers on the timeline. Simply drag them to set the effect's length. Pro version owners can also add additional animation points and change the animation speed in the key editor, creating stunning motion animation effects. To learn how to work with this tool, we recommend watching our video tutorial. Export. Finally, it's time to export our video. Head over to the Export Projects tab at the top. Select where you want to publish the video, for example YouTube, or select a specific format like MP4. Then move to the bottom right corner and click Change Name. This allows you to choose where to save the video and set its name. Click Save afterwards. To continue adjusting export settings, click Edit Profile. Initially, it's enough for you to know about the quality parameter. A setting of 100% means the highest quality, but also the largest file size. Adjusting this to 80% reduces the file size while still maintaining good quality. When you're ready, hit the rocket button at the top to launch export. Wait until it finishes, and your video file will be saved in the designated location. And that is all for today. In this video, we've only scratched the surface of VSDC's capabilities, covering basic functions to get you started with your first video edit. However, the program has a wide array of features and settings, both in the free and the Pro versions, including image stabilization, motion tracking, effects, and templates. To find out how to work with all these features, check out our YouTube channel or visit our website's How To section. Good luck with VSDC. See you next time!